from the oldest city in the USA, St. Augustine Tonight, with our guest, Jane West, Jeanetta Cebollero, Bill Abbott, musical guest Ramona and The Riot, special appearance by Erika Quintero, with your host, Jorge Rivera. Wow, look at this place. Whew. People as far as my eye can see, which isn't much with those lights, but still. It's our last show of the season. But usually in the last show is when you find out who shot JR. So I want to thank the people who made this possible, the Lincolnville Museum and Cultural Center, the St. John's Cultural Council, Ancient City Brewery, Vecto Vision, and look at those flowers from Shirley. It's a rose extravaganza. And you guys can come in, get comfy. So, wow, what's in the news or not in the news? You know, Ukraine looks like it kicked the teeth in from the bully for a while. And so they're, we'll see. I mean, you saw the pictures from Bucha. They weren't nice, mostly what we saw in Bosnia. So, we'll see how that goes. I have a friend who's going to Ukraine to help. I'm hoping the angels look after him. So, some people just can only see so much before they feel they have to be proactive. John Batiste, 5 Grammys, took 4. He is the sweetest soul. I mean, he's such a sweet man. Lots of people don't know that his girlfriend, Suleika Jawad, has been his girlfriend for 8 years. And at the first, when they started getting together, she got leukemia. And she was in the hospital for 4 years almost. And in that time also, it was COVID, so he couldn't be by her side either. And so he would, on the piano, write her a melody and send it through the phone so she could hear. And that's a way to keep her strength. So she got over it. She wrote a book called Between Two Kingdoms. It's a beautiful story of survival and discovery. If you have a friend who's going through the whole cancer thing, it's a beautiful book. It's called Between Two Kingdoms. It's a bestseller right now. But what happened was also is she recovered, and now leukemia came back. And when they found out that leukemia came back, they got married. And they got married as they were pulling her into the operating room. And they used bread ties as their little rings. And they got married, and now we're wishing him, congratulating him for wonderful 4 Grammys, and also wishing them as a couple, as a man and wife, the best. Elon Musk bought 10% of Twitter. So, I mean, Twitter for me is like going to a bar and walking in the men's bathroom and start to read what's written on the walls. You know, that's what Twitter is for me. I use it for the show because I have to, put up an announcement. But Twitter to me is bathroom writing, So, but Elon Musk loves it, so he bought 10%, so now he's the biggest shareholder. The drought in the West is so bad. This is where you say, how bad is it? It's so bad that Maine, the state of Maine, just sent 21 million pounds of potatoes to Idaho and to Washington State so they could meet their quotas of making French fries and all the stuff you buy frozen. That's how bad it is. Because Maine had an incredible, incredible potato season. And all that surplus, instead of having to throw it away to keep market prices up, that's a crime. They send it out there so they could, balance out. So that's how bad it was. A robot dog in Pompeii, the city of Pompeii, the ruins of Pompeii, they have to guard the place because people steal, they vandalize. You know how that goes. So now they have these Boston Dynamic robot dogs that don't have heads, but they look like these Dobermans and they can flip around and everything. They're using them as guard dogs. They've programmed, they can climb anywhere, they shoot. All they need is a laser beam to get someone. But they have video cameras on them. It's amazing. They have robot dogs now patrolling. Pretty soon, that's what people will have, right? Great story. Prisoner 492 escaped a place where they were holding him in Kansas. They found him in Texas through a video camera. It's an African flamingo that escaped 17 years ago from the Kansas Zoo. So they brought him into the zoo, and they were going to clip his wings the next day. There was a horrible thunderstorm that night, like the Shawshank Redemption, and he escaped with a couple of other flamingos. He could still fly because they had not clipped his wings. They found him the other day in Texas in a pond with another of his buddies, and they decided not to take him back because he had already become part of the wildlife there. And you're going to say, how did they know it was prisoner 492? He still had his tag on his leg. When they zoom with the camera, they realize it was him. The other guy, they don't know where he is, But I thought that was a beautiful thing. Craziest story of the week. A guy in Germany was selling Vax cards, But, you could tell they're fakes really quick. So the way he did it was, he got, are you ready? 90 shots of COVID. This guy went around Germany getting shots of COVID and selling the vaccine numbers because they were real. So if you hear a story in a couple of years that there's a 100-foot man wrecking a city, it's that guy who got 90 shots of COVID. They caught him in Saxony. At the end, they broke his thing. I mean, people are crazy. And the last story, in Oregon, they opened a bar to honor women athletes. The name of the bar is Sport Bra. I don't have any sport bras to give you tonight, but I have a great musical guest. We have Ramona with us and Mr. Alberto Cebollero. I'll leave you with them.
That was the perfect lead-in, Jorge. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here at the St Augustine Tonight Show. We started the first season with our full band. My husband appeared in, I believe, the third season, and this is the fifth season. So we have since become a married couple. And it's sort of a full circle moment for us, so we're going to be doing this one together.
See, I'm not afraid to do the Lord's work. He says vengeance is his, but I'ma do it first. And I'ma handle my business in the name of the Lord. Oh, well, if he made you cry, girl, I gotta know it. If he's not ready to die, he bears prepare for it. My judgment's divine. I'll tell you who you should call. You better call the police, call the coroner, call up your priest, then call your lawyer. won't be no peace once I find that food. I said, now, who did that to you? And I don't take pleasure in a man's pain, but my wrath will come down like the cold rain. And there won't be no shelter, no place you can go. So put your hands up, time to surrender. See, I'm a vigilante, I'm love's defender. You're a wanted man here, everybody knows. Call the police, call the coroner. I'll chase you all the way to California. Won't be no peace once I find that food. Well, who did that to you? I said, now, who did that to you? I said, now, who? I gotta find that food. Come on. Call the police, call the coroner, call up your priest, then call your lawyer. There won't be no peace once I find that food. Well, who did that to you? And who did that to you? I said, now, who? I gotta find that food. Yeah, who did that to you? Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. We're just getting started. We'll be right back with our first guest after these messages.
I saw you pass me in your limousine, and just seeing you brought back forgotten dreams. As I watched your car roll by, this thought took place. May the kangaroo of love kick your face. In the good old days when you didn't have a dime, you romanced me and my paychecks.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with Jane West. For those of you who don't know Jane West, she is a lawyer, but a special kind of lawyer. She's the one who fights for the environment, for us. And you know, talking to you was very interesting in your life. You were born in Hungary,
Raised in Hungary, yes.
raised in
Yes.
Hungary, then you lived in Greece,
Yes.
and then when you came to the States, it was kind of a shock. You came back, you were 13 or something like that?
Yes.
And so what was funny to me was that your dream was to go back to Hungary to be the ambassador.
Yeah, I dream big, you know.
Yeah. So now, also what I found interesting was that you did you were very good at school. So you were so good at school that at the age of 15, you were in university.
Yes, which you know, that's great, you know, for your resume and education. Socially, not the best move.
I know.
Yeah.
15 years old in the university is like,
Yeah. No, I went up to the frat table. I'm like, hey, can I be your little sister? Not a good move.
Now, when you were going through school, what was the thing that attracted you at an early age? What was the theme that kept repeating itself?
Even back then, it definitely was the environment. I was in this goofy little club called FPIRG, Florida Public Interest Research Group, and I would go door to door asking people to sign petitions to stop offshore oil drilling when Governor Bob Martinez was in office.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was one of
So
those
very
goofy
young.
little tree huggers from the very beginning.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now, it was funny because you said at some point you found yourself living in Jupiter, Florida.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
where
it
my
was
son was
like-
born.
Yeah, there are two of them right here. These are the
Two of 'em.
suspects right
Yes.
here. Yeah. I hope they don't do like the flamingo and escape on us.
Right?
Yeah. And so you decided this environment was like probably too artificial, too not real enough. And so you pick up everything with your husband and you go to Maine, the state of Maine.
Yes, I love Maine. Jupiter's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it was really, really very materialistic. You know, you had the Jupiter High School students driving around in the
Land
Porsche
Rovers?
Cayennes and the Land Rovers, and I really didn't want my sweet son Sawyer growing up to have that materialistic virtue. Now he's, you know, sitting there all dressed out in Nike, so clearly I lost that battle. But yeah, we you know, definitely made a big decision there.
What was the culture change for you leaving Florida and then being up in Maine where there are winters and you're kind of out in, you know, it's Maine.
It was awesome. I mean, I don't know what other way to put it. I just felt so grounded there. I found like my people there. And I felt incredibly connected to the natural environment. Maine is just such a spectacular place. I don't want to rave about it too much because then everyone will go there.
Right.
But you know, it's where we go still every summer just to kind of ground ourselves and get that stress out and become feral human beings again.
And so as a lawyer, what were you doing in Maine?
I worked as a staff attorney for the Conservation Law Foundation, which is kind of like New England's version of Earth Justice. Yeah.
Now, you say one of the things that turns you most on about law is the trial.
Yeah.
So you like the fight.
I love trial work. I'm no longer doing it, but I can tell you there were times where I would read back through my trial transcripts and there were words that I had used that I didn't know. So clearly I was in some other kind of zone is the only way I can describe it.
But being in the university so young, finishing university, by the time you were a lawyer, you were young as a lawyer. How old were you when you passed your bar and you could say, I'm a lawyer now?
It was the normal age because I kind of dragged college out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember your first environmental case?
I do. I represented a hay farmer in Sumter County, Florida, and he was fighting a development that basically would have caused urban sprawl. I lost at the administrative level, but then won at the appellate level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
So
really
you-
cool,
so you
very
had to go,
invigorating.
Take us, don't give up, Johnny. Let's go.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And he had, you know, the suspenders and the pocket protector. He was a great guy, Dan Farnsworth. Yeah.
He was what's it? Rock Allwell's painting.
Right,
You know, what
right.
a farmer would be, and that.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's funny. Now, how long did you stay in Maine?
3 years.
And then you went to
Back to here.
back here.
Back to Florida. Florida has like this
But you stayed in
crazy
the north.
grasp.
You didn't go south.
That's right. That's right.
Any reason here? Why?
Well, I definitely didn't want to live in South Florida again. South Florida is awesome, but it's just not where I wanted to raise a family. St. Augustine, I've been visiting since I was in high school, and I just thought it
Okay.
was magical.
Right.
And it looked like a great place to live, and it was also where my husband got a job offer to work for Wind Capital Group.
Okay.
He's also in the environmental arena.
All right.
So
So now you're working. you're doing all this, but you spend a lot of your time in Tallahassee now.
I do.
And basically, what do you do in
Yeah.
Tallahassee?
So I'm the Policy and Planning Director for 1,000 Friends of Florida. It's a statewide nonprofit working on building better communities and working on conservation issues and trying to promote smart growth in the state of Florida. We definitely need an organization like this.
Wow.
So I kind of retired the litigation hat, and now I have my lobbying hat on. So during the entire legislative session, I am in Tallahassee Monday through Friday.
Wow, trying to convince them to drink responsibly. Well, grow responsibly would be the real thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that it is significantly more challenging than litigation, because at least in litigation you have rules of civil procedure, you know, the evidence code. There are no rules in Tallahassee. It's all backroom deals, and unless you've got the power, you're not playing at the table.
So the gambling.
Sorry, that's the hard truth.
Yeah. Well, we see it in movies and all that,
Right.
you know. And of course, Hollywood makes it bigger, but you realize this battle between those who want to grow and those who want to protect where we're growing at, because now we have the case of the manatees, for instance. We had the guy from the zoo here, where they're taking care of some of them there, and they're starving.
Yep. Yeah.
And the reason is?
Well, because all the seagrass is dying because of impaired water quality and nutrient overloading. And I will say this, you know, I don't think growing and protecting are mutually exclusive. And that's where I hope to come in to kind of see these two disparate factors kind of merge and see eye to eye. I do think we can have smart growth in Florida. We've got over 1,000 people moving to this state per day. It's explosive. It's the size of the city of Orlando every year. So kind of wrap your head around that. And so we do need to protect our environment. And unfortunately, we had record manatee deaths last year with over 1,000 dying. And I hate to say this, but as of March of this year, we already have 420 manatee deaths on record. So we're looking at another really awful year.
Wow. Are they trying to do anything to?
They're feeding them lettuce. But the good news is we're heading into the warmer season now. And so hopefully they'll be able to survive that. They are mammals, so they do need warm water. But it does get back to the seagrass. If we don't have viable seagrass beds, we're not going to have a food source.
Well, the report from the UN just came in this week, and it was basically like...
from the IPCC?
Yeah. And basically what he said, which I said, well, at least someone said it at last, is we've done all these promises and we have done nothing.
Yeah.
And that's basically what he said. And this was the head of the UN saying, all these broken promises, and this is where we're at. And now with the problem in Ukraine, people want to drill for more oil. Their tankers are burning into the sky. I mean, it's so apocalyptic in a way. And they said we have 8 years, I guess, 8 years is two election cycles.
Right.
It goes like that.
Right.
You know?
And I think that's part of the problem, is that you have short-term memory loss with elections, and people always kind of in that campaign mode, and they just want to win the next election. So we don't have that long-term vision. And I don't like to get apocalyptic talking about climate change because I have 2 young sons, and this is the world that they're going to live in. So I try to focus on the positive of what we can do in our everyday lives. And I think there's a lot that we can do to reduce our use of petroleum products.
Yeah, we have the climate change challenge too. You know, it reminds me of the comedian Bill Cosby used to have an album when I was a boy where God calls Noah, and he says, "Build an ark," and Noah said, "Oh, stop it! I'm not going to do that." And then God suddenly says, "How long can you thread water for?" And he said, "Okay, you got my attention." All right. So, and I think climate change is almost people are going to have to thread water to figure out that they have to build an ark here. To save us. Yeah. So what do you think is your biggest challenge in the future? Do you plan to stay in Tallahassee, or are you looking to do something else in environment?
Well, one day I would like to retire and become a seaweed farmer to capture carbon. but that's way off in the future.
Okay.
In the interim, I like the work that I'm doing, and I do believe that I'm making incremental changes, not the sort of big policy changes
Right.
that I would like to be making,
Right.
but I see the positive step forward. So I'm going to stick with this lobbying gig in Tallahassee. I really love the organization that I'm working for.
So my last question, do you see the glass half full or half empty?
Half full, absolutely. Always
Good.
half. Yeah.
Good. All right, good. So nice to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks.
for coming to the show. Stay right there. We'll be back with our next guest after these messages.
Right on time. But now with your success I've been replaced. So may the kangaroo of love kick your face. Oh, I've lots of memories of our romance. Yeah, like paying bills and patching up your pants. Now you don't know me since your shirts are trimmed with lace. Well, may the kangaroo of love kick your face.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with one of my favorite people. I met her as Ramona Quimby when I first met her. Then I met her as Jeanetta Slayer. And now it's Mrs. Jeanetta Cebollero. There she is. And for those of you who keep, keep track of the music scene here in St. Augustine, this lady here is a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
last time you were performing, big gig was at the big jazz festival at Fort Mose.
Yes.
Your husband opened for Gregory Porter.
Yes, he did.
And you opened for?
Tank and the Bangas.
Tank and the Bangas, that's it. And so you had there the national platform. That was
Yes.
great.
It
That
was
was a great
amazing.
festival, wasn't it?
Very well put on. The
Yes.
amphitheater did a great job. You know, St. Augustine Distillery sponsored that, Cultural Council, and also Fort Mose, you
Yes.
know. And I live on that. I happen to live right next
you
to
live a
Fort
block
Mose.
or two away.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. That was amazing. I hope that comes back next year.
I have a feeling.
They'd be fools not to.
I have a feeling.
It was sold out. The quality of the music was amazing.
The whole production,
Yes.
the lighting through the
Everything.
woods, the stage. I
Everything.
mean, it felt magical.
It was really fantastic.
Yeah,
If you
really.
didn't go and see it, I feel sorry for you. But let's talk about you. When did you first get attracted to music? How young were you when you decided to perform, sing, play
I was
something?
born into it. My grandfather is a musician. My mother is a musician. Both have notable performance histories. And I basically, in my baby book, so I was born in 1986. In my baby book in 1989, it says, Jeanetta says she is a singer. And I really, sang every day just as a child, just was, I'm gonna be a singer, I'm gonna be a singer, like that was always what I was gonna do.
Do you feel singing for you is something almost spiritual?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and I think about this a lot because doing it professionally and doing it for just the joy of doing it, singers sing all of the time. We're the most annoying people. We're like singing around the house, we're singing to our friends, we're singing in the car, people are like, shut up. And it's really like, for me, I always had that entertainer persona. I was like the class clown a little bit, and it brings people joy, and it brings human connection. And for me, that's why I do this job, and I love the music, and I love getting on stage. I love the crazy outfits. I love all of that. But really, when I talk to people after it, and they're like, oh, I was having a bad day, and then I came and I was just danced, and it's a cool job to make people happy.
Now, how long have you been here in St. Augustine?
I moved here in 2008, in October of 2008, when my daughter was 9 months old.
Bella.
Now she's 14,
Bellissima.
and
14.
she's going to be going to St. Augustine High School next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you came from where when you came here?
So I had moved around a little bit in my young adulthood, but I went to high school in Mount Dora, Florida, which is not too far away.
Right,
it's about 2 hours away. And it's an arts community. It's a
Right.
little smaller than St. Augustine, but I had moved back there, and when I had my daughter, and I always wanted to live in St. Augustine. I used to write in people's yearbooks. I'm moving to St. Augustine to be a singer. I really did. It was like sort of prophetic. And I told my guidance counselor said, "What are you gonna do when you grow up?" And I said, "I'm gonna be a singer in St. Augustine." And she wrote me a few years ago on Facebook and said, "This is crazy that you're a singer in St. Augustine." She said, "I didn't think you were really gonna be able to make that work, but I didn't want to discourage you, you know." But, so yeah, I kind of just always wanted to move here.
Well, what I love about you is that you dream big. And so, first time, when I had you on my first show, I remember you blew the mics off my camera. And I realized when I got home I had no audio. I had a backup audio that saved that video.
Easy to believe.
Yeah, but it was a big band. It was great. And you're playing everywhere. You're out in Los Angeles. You're all over the place now.
Yeah.
You were playing at the World Trade Center last time we had a conversation because COVID destroyed everybody's life.
Right.
And then we had not talked in a long time. And then you said, I asked you about saying, "Oh, we're headed to New York, and that's my town." I said, "What? We're playing at top of the World Trade Center, man, the new one."
Absolutely.
And how was that gig?
It was amazing. I didn't know if it was going to happen. So that gig is really funny because during COVID, everything was really up in the air. And this woman contacted me and she said, "I saw you 3 years ago in St. Augustine. Do you still sing?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "I've got a gig for you in New York." And I'm thinking, this is a scammer on the phone. It's COVID, New York.
It's like really
I got a
tight,
gig for you. I'm like, nothing's happening in New York. And she said, "Well, it'll be in October of 21. Would you do it?" And I said, "I don't know." And she said, "It's at the World Trade Center." And then I was like, "You're definitely a scammer." No, but I said, "If you pay me in full this week, no refunds, I will come." So she really was serious. And I was very kind of nervous about it because at the time we were just, our gigs were
day by day.
Gigs were still canceling.
Yeah.
So we went up there and wow, what an experience. Gig of a lifetime. We played on like the 106th floor. I mean, we were just going up and up and up. And in the observatory, my husband and I, and my husband actually had lived in New York for 8 years. So it was a great time. I mean, we walked all of New York, and he showed me, things in Soho and things in the Village. And we've played in New York together in the Village before, but this time we really got to spend a week and see it all. But that gig was breathtaking. I mean, it was humbling, really. It was, I couldn't believe it.
Well, I remember last time you had a wonderful gig like that was a conversation we had where you had played somewhere with Justin Timberlake had played out in L.A.
His band, yeah. I sang for Grammy Week.
Yes, Grammy Week, because you're involved with that too.
Grammy Week 2017. We had gone out to L.A. and I sang with his band. And I mean, honestly, quarterly, we travel a lot now. We really travel a lot. We travel to Savannah almost once a month.
Wow.
We just were in Rochester. We got snowed in playing
Rochester,
at casino.
New York?
Yeah.
Hey,
We got snowed in like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I could have told you that. Watch out for snow, because it'll snow in May in Rochester,
I got
New York.
snowed into a casino, which is the best place to be snowed into.
That's it.
So yeah, I mean, we're really traveling a lot, and sort of a full circle also. The day I played your show the very first time, I had a substitute keyboard player that day, and it was the first time I had ever met him, was on your show. And he is now, he's our music director for our full band. And so he and I have had a lasting relationship for 5 years. And he actually has toured the country with us and is now, right now on tour with a band called Black Violin. That's a very, very famous band. And he's on a national tour with them, and we kind of laughed because I told him I was doing this tonight, and he was like, "Wow, how far we've come."
Yeah, that's where we, clicked and changed our lives. So where do you see your music going, man? I mean, you're also helping other musicians. You're involved in so much. I think last time I saw you was that round table the city had
Right.
to manage the nightlife.
Transformation team.
Yes, and you were on that team, and they invited me, and I saw you there, which was great. So where do you see Ramona going? I mean,
Ramona the mayor. No, I'm just kidding.
I vote for you, baby. I vote for you. You got my vote. I had the mayor here last week. I hope he's not watching this show.
Hey, Tracy.
Be angry.
No, really, I have really gotten involved in festival production. You know, we
Okay.
have the 90s festival.
Yes, you did that. It was really great.
Yeah,
That
but-
also was around that time was sketchy.
It was sketchy. So we were the first event back on Francis Field.
Right.
And our nonprofit, my husband is actually the president of our nonprofit. And what we do is we help tourism and hospitality workers in crisis.
Right.
So medical bills, mental health, you know, hospitality is the lifeblood of St. Augustine.
Right.
So without bartenders and servers and
Right.
hotel housekeepers and none of this works.
Right.
You know, and so I'm really passionate about that. And we have the most fun events, May 21st this year on Francis Field. It's a 90s celebration of all things 90s.
Right.
We have Montel Jordan and Quad City DJs and Eve6. So we get some people from the 90s, and it's a blast. It's a full day event. But I'm doing other festivals. So I
Right.
just did a women's fest this past weekend, Florida Ma'am, which was a blast at Colonial Oak. And I haven't something else coming up that I can't really announce yet, but really I love the event production side as well. And I'm never gonna stop playing music, you know, that's just what I do. So
Now is little Bella singing around the house also?
she, you know, Bella is quick to tell me, I'm not a front woman like you, Mom. You know, she wants her own identity.
Right. Oh, that's great.
She wants to own a vinyl shop in town.
You got to come to my house. I got vinyl.
She's into vinyl right
Oh, I
now,
got
but yeah, she's very musically inclined. Truth
That's
be
great.
told,
That's great. You're lucky to have a mama like this
there's a
girl.
lot of music going on at our house.
And so, and Mr. Cebollero also, he's doing so amazing. He opened for Greg Porter. I
No
thought I was
surprise.
seeing another person.
He came to
His-
life, right?
I know.
He came
His
to life.
life.
He came to life. So my husband is, you know, I'm kind of the mouth from the South. I'm all out, you know. And he's kind
He's
of,
very- yes.
he comes off a little more composed and
Yeah.
reserved. But, you know, you put a guitar in his hands.
Oh my
and
God. We
that's
just
it.
saw him a moment ago,
That's
man.
it,
It's
you
just
know.
like-
So, yeah,
Right.
he's doing. Actually, he'll be at Jazz After Dark for Jacksonville Jazz Fest Memorial Day weekend on the 28th
All right.
of May, and he's got his own jazz trio, and he's doing, you know, his big
Yeah.
things.
Well, that was the trio up there.
Yeah,
Those musicians were amazing.
yeah, they were
also.
all incredible. Each
Yes,
one of them.
yes. Lucky. It's hard. It's hard to find. You know.
They're in demand.
Yeah.
You know,
I bet.
especially after COVID.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah. I
musicians,
think we're
it's when you
waking
talk
up.
about labor force shortage, musicians, it's like, you know, there's.
Well, I love you to death. We've
Thank
run
you.
out of time. I could talk to
course.
you all night.
We
you
do. We
know.
talk all the time.
Yeah, every time we talk for hours.
Like 3
man.
hours, yeah.
Yeah. So it's great that you said yes again. I wish you the best. The city
Thank
is
you.
so lucky to have you, man. They have no idea.
Yeah.
I love you. We love you, girl. You're killing it. So
Thank
we'll be back. We're having an intermission. Vecto Vision is doing their thing out there. Take a thing. One of my Latin queens bought some bottles of champagne. We share with the guests. If there's a little left, hey, hang around. And after the show, you know, stay, chat. It's our last show, last time being together until further notice. So we'll be back after these messages.
Down, I was round to see you through. Always good for a loan of $1 or $2. Well, now that you're up, I'm not your cup of tea no more. And incidentally, it makes me sore. So now you're a king on a highfalutin throne, and you can only be reached on your unlisted phone. So I humbly send this wish to you, your grace. May the kangaroo of...
Would you like my socks? Look at those. St. Augustine Tonight. And now, once again, Ramona and Alberto Cebollero.
It was only right we do at least one love ballad while we're here. You know? So I have to do that.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. You know, after the show, also, Kathy Stone, who's a regular on the show, is going to be making some Italian cookies with a waffle maker. So, I have this is the slider section, we all know this. And I have two people here. I have Erika Quintero and I have Shannon Hart. We'll start with Erika. Erika Quintero, as you might know her, if you 2 years ago were at the first Unidos en la Musica at St. Francis Field, where all this Latin music was there. It was amazing. Tell us what's coming now in this second, our second festival.
Thank you. Yes. So unfortunately, yes, we had to cancel our second and third festival, 2020 and 2021, due to COVID. So we're gearing up for our second Unidos en la Musica, a Latin American festival, May 7th, Saturday, May 7th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can expect a ton of cultural exhibitions, an art mural competition, games, typical games for children, 4 different bands coming from Miami, coming directly from Mexico, and our headliner, Grupo Nietzsche, will be with us. So they won the 2021 Grammy for Best Tropical Album in 2021. So we are extremely excited. Yes, thank you.
That's it? This ain't chicken liver we're bringing here.
Yes, and we have over 70 vendors, food vendors and artisan vendors, and over 120 performers. So this is a huge, huge event.
And it's a one-day event?
Yes.
Wow. And it
Yes.
starts at what time it starts?
10 a.m. and
10
it
a.m.?
ends at 10 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
You got enough Latino for a year
Yeah.
to hang around that whole time. So it's great because these events, you know, not only do you get in touch with Latin America, everything south of Mexico, there's a lot of people that way. Be nice if you got to know them through these cultural events. And the one I went, that first one was great. The bands were awesome. And that is such a great field for something like that. So yes. I thank you so much. Where could we find more information about this?
Absolutely, on Eventbrite. You can find us on Instagram as well, Unidos en la Musica, Facebook as well, Unidos en la Musica, or send us an email, info@unidosenlamusica.com.
Get all the details, get your tickets, and May is a wonderful month. It's not too hot yet. It's not August. You carry 2 eggs and you fry them wherever you want to get a quick lunch. So. Our other guest, thank you so much, Erika. Our other guest is Shannon Hart.
Thank you very much.
For those of you. And Shannon here was giving us these demos with Vecto Vision. Tell us a little bit more.
Okay, well, thanks for everyone who participated. We threw together a very minimal, informal Vecto Vision demonstration. But can I just, since you and I are friends, I'm just going to say thank you for a wonderful season. You've done a great job. I know how hard you work on these. And can you hear me? I know how hard you work on these seasons. And we also appreciate your love for the community and you're willing to support everyone. So thank you. And we'll just say that. Well, so thank you for everyone who came out to take a look. We are having an official launch soon. If anyone wants to come to a bigger launch, we had very limited space. Go ahead to artandlifein3d.com, send us your email information, and we'll invite you to the larger launch. But I'm really excited to say this is finally going into stores around St. Augustine. This is our very first kids book, which demonstrates the Vecto Vision technology, which is really going to go life-size. So the book is just a book to take home. The life-size experience really, like I said before, was to make public sculptures come to life, see life-size trains of Henry Flagler, streets come to life with people who used to live there. And I also wanted to say, the St. Augustine Kids book is going into the visitor center soon, but Linda and Maria, your team members, are helping me translate this into Spanish.
The Latin queens, once again.
It'll be in Spanish as well, and that should come out pretty soon. So yeah, we have tons going on. And for the Halloween festival that you and I are working on, hopefully a haunted Vecto Vision tour through St. Augustine. Yeah.
You better have these socks on.
Right. Oh, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Have your socks on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, both of you. And that's it, support what's going on here, man. This is home. If you're not loyal at home, then what are you loyal to? So keep that in mind. So thank you both. And we'll be back with our last guest. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Okay.
No pressure on the guest, but it'll be great. Be back in a minute. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our last guest of the evening, Bill Abbott. Bill, you'll find a lot about him. It's very interesting. We talked for almost an hour and a half that day.
We did.
It was a great conversation. Bill is originally from Canada, Ontario, Toronto area, and he's been now living in the United States for how long now?
It'll be 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yep.
And he was a frequent visitor before that. And he's a magician. And but your first love was music, wasn't it?
I grew up in a musical home, and
Right.
music was my first. I was on stage when I was 3 years old, playing the violin.
The violin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those. But you learned through a system, a Japanese system, wasn't it?
Suzuki. Yeah.
Yes.
The Suzuki Method, which is the concept is that you learn music like you learn a language. So like as you're learning to speak, you're also learning to play whatever the instrument is. So.
Did you enjoy the violin?
Yeah, I really did. I loved it. But I didn't have any other memories.
You
other
said
than-
you used to put your kids to sleep playing the violin?
Yeah, so I stopped playing for a while, but then when my kids, were babies, my two
great.
boys, I would put them to sleep with the violin.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that is so cool, so cool. How many kids you have?
2 boys.
2 boys.
Yeah.
And so now you come at age, you go to school. When is the first time that you start dabbling in this performing magic kind of thing?
Well, I was 12. I got a magic set for Christmas. That was
Oh, those things. Thank
So-
God it wasn't chemistry.
that's right.
Yes,
right.
you're
Or
blowing up the
witchcraft. I
house.
mean, it would have been weird.
The gweed.
Yeah, so I started doing that then, and then I started putting neighborhood shows on. There was a next door neighbor that did it with me, so we were kind of a duo act, and we would
Okay.
do shows in the neighborhood. And,
Really, at that age
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
What you charge? Like a quarter or something for the show?
oh no, like $3, but it's Canadian, so it works out to be a quarter. It's like- sadly.
Oh, it's funny. That's funny. So now, when you started doing those early tricks,
Yeah.
what was it? Was it cards? Was it ropes? Was it coins? Or was it little tricks you bought already assembled with rings and stuff like that?
So we had 2 magic shops in our city, in Toronto, so I would
wow.
frequent them. It would take me 3 or 4 bus stops and a subway, but I would finally get there, and I would, whatever money I had, I would throw into that. So we, accumulated a lot of very small magic to begin
Right,
with, obviously.
right.
And eventually I did more bigger magic, and now I'm doing small magic again because I think it's way more interesting.
And when you say small magic
Yeah.
to big magic, what do you mean by that? For the
well,
person who's not a magician.
I'm going to put a plug in because we're going to open a show at the Casa Monica Hotel where we've been spending the last 6-7 months renovating a room, and it's going to be 22 seats. So to me, that's like the perfect audience size, and also the perfect for the audience to see everything, like you're in touching distance.
So it's
of the
going to be
magic.
like a mini magic theater in the Casa Monica. And it starts with a cocktail and a gold coin?
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick rundown.
Yeah.
Basically, you'll arrive, check in. It's a ticketed show, so you'll have to buy a ticket online, but then you'll come, and everyone gets a magic gold coin, the Magic Hideaway gold coin, and then when you hand it to the bartender, it magically turns into whatever drink you want it to be. That's part of the ticket price, and then I'm going to come out and do some pre-show sleight of hand before we go into the little theater. So then we go into the
Blow their minds away.
yeah. Then we do a full show, and
Wow.
yeah.
I can't wait. And you plan this to start around when?
At some point in May.
Sometime in May.
I know it's we've been asked that same question about 72
I know there was
times.
a time you thought it'd be April, now it's May.
Yeah,
Hopefully
just
it's
everything
May.
takes forever,
Oh,
as you know.
yes.
But we're doing a contest right now outside on the white table. There's a white tablecloth with a very plain looking. If you sign up your email address,
right there.
we're doing a draw for 2 tickets, which is
you'd be a fool not to.
Yeah,
All you
for,
gotta do is write your email.
That's right.
And now at 12 you're doing tricks.
yep.
Now you go into junior
I
high.
was doing magic. Dogs do tricks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're doing magic.
String. Come on.
Yeah, it's like what guy said. He said I had to explain to my grandmother what was the difference between a butt call and a booty call, you know? And that was very funny. But here now, are you still doing it in junior high, in high school?
Yeah, so all through high school, that's when it became a business. I think, you know,
Oh, wow.
had the business cards printed. And I was doing birthday parties in the neighborhood, wherever my parents would drive me. That was my geographical limit. But basically, anyone who had a birthday party, I tried to.
Did you have a special name?
No, it was always been my name.
Just
sadly.
Bill.
Yeah.
Just Bill, the magician.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was Billy back then, but.
Billy.
Yeah.
And so now you go to college.
Yeah.
There isn't really a degree in magic in college.
No, actually, technically there is.
Oh.
I didn't get the degree, but
Okay.
I'm not a magician with a holding a degree. I took psychology and sociology, though. That's what
okay.
which
And
helps magic.
You're still in Toronto is a big city like New York.
Yeah.
So you're in Toronto.
Yeah.
And now, are you training with other magicians? How are you getting better at the game?
So yeah, I did have mentors growing up, other professionals who were older than me. My father was with a company that would hire a magician for their trade show every year. And although I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, but he would sneak me in to the trade show floor, and I would watch this guy work like 8 hours a day, drawing crowds into, turn into business deals and opportunities. So that was the first time I saw a magician, really doing it for real, for money, as a full-time job.
Wow. Wow.
And that changed my perspective of not only, what magic could be, but also this could be a living. This
It
could
could be a living. It
Yeah.
could be all I do,
Yeah.
what I love, which
Yeah.
I think is the dream of
Because I think
any
we
person.
have a concept of magic being on TV, or we see
Right.
it, in Las Vegas or whatever, and
Right.
seeing someone doing the type of magic that I love, which is very intimate close-up magic,
Right.
And seeing that, as
Yes.
a career choice,
Yes,
was
yes.
life-changing.
I remember in Vegas, I went to the Penn and Teller show
Yeah,
in Vegas,
great
and
show.
I think it ended where he caught a bullet in his mouth from a gun. I mean, they put a show,
Yeah,
But what he does also, some of the tricks that blow your mind, he tells you how they're done.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you doing? And then you realize, because Houdini.
Because they're
had
not
a
really
trick.
telling you how
Yeah,
they're done.
Houdini had
Yeah.
a trick where an elephant would appear and an elephant would disappear.
Yeah.
And it was that the elephant was trained that when he closed the curtain and he said a certain word, the elephant would just go behind the wall.
Wander off, yeah. Yeah,
No elephant.
amazing.
Yeah. It's some of the most mind-boggling tricks are really not that complicated.
Right.
And I think that you have psychology helps.
Oh, it definitely does. Yeah, because if I know what you're thinking, then I know how to fool you.
Right. Be careful. But what do you think is the most challenging thing as a magician, as someone who says, I'm a magician, that's what I do for a living, that's my passion. What would you say to anyone who aspired to be a magician? What is the main challenge?
To try to remain cool under the heat lamps when a 7-piece suit on. I think that's the hard. No, I'm joking.
So I could be a magician, maybe. Yes.
Yes, you are a magician.
Yes, I guess so.
The amazing Jorge.
Yes.
That's a good question. I think, like anything, like a musician, like
Singer, anything,
yeah, I think it's stage time. It's just getting in front of people and doing what you do,
Right.
as much as humanly
It's almost like
possible.
a stand-up comic, right?
Exactly. Yeah, very similar.
Stage time is where you really learn the craft.
Yes,
Struggle
and I
with
think
that.
that's like anything, and you just get better and better at it. And I think in magic it's different because there's a combination. There's two things going on. There's the entertainment value, like the fun of it, but then I'm also trying to deceive you.
Right.
So it's like I'm your friend,
Right.
but I'm also pulling the rug out at the same time. So it's like it's duplicitous in that
Right.
way, but you all know that I'm trying to deceive you, so it's not really a lie because you know that I'm lying to you. Does that make sense? As opposed to a politician where you just assume.
That's like a guy I heard once said, I was at the airport, I was stuck there for 8 hours, I met this guy named Bob, he was great, he asked about my family, he was so interested, and right there in the middle, he tries to sell me insurance.
Of course, of course.
And then he throws an expletive,
Yeah.
F you, Bob, and he walks away, it's very funny. But now, You're doing magic. What's the name? It's called a hideaway or something?
The Magic Hideaway.
The Magic Hideaway
Yeah.
is the whole name of this show.
Yeah.
Now, you're doing magic up close.
Yes.
And I love that. Because,
Yeah.
when you see far away, there's so much, there's that distance. But when I'm in front of you here and things
assume.
disappear and appear, and then maybe it appears in my jacket or something,
Wow.
blows my mind.
That'd be
So that kind of thing. Could you show us anything right now?
Well, it'll cost you some. Sure. You guys want to see something? Yeah?
Look at it.
You got time?
There's something you said to me that I didn't forget, that you said what you love about magic is maybe the only art form where you bring an adult to the wonder of being a child again.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I didn't forget that when you
Yeah.
said that to me. It was, wow.
That's the goal.
Very true.
That's the goal.
That there's that.
But we're all skeptics, so it's hard to, it takes a
Right.
lot.
Especially now.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, here
Well,
we are.
I thought I'd start where magic began, where the very first trick, I think the very first trick was that, the fire, right? I mean,
Yeah, how
if we were,
you
we were in a
make
cave
rubbing-
like a few thousand years ago, you'd be freaking out right now. This
Yes.
girl.
Yeah, what's that?
How do you do that? So this is going to be interesting. We hope you're not wearing hair products.
No, no.
That was a joke, guys. Calm down. So now that once you regain your retina, you'll notice I have a deck of cards here.
Yes, yes.
I thought we'd start with a card trick. These cards are all different, and they're all pre-mixed,
Right.
which makes it easy for you to understand.
Yeah,
you can
it's
see
like a
that, right?
regular deck.
Cool. And I thought I'd enter the audience, and you guys can choose some cards. Is that cool? Do you mind? All right. So I'm gonna come out and see you people. This will be exciting if I don't die. Okay, I didn't die. Hey, Jeanetta.
Hi there.
We're gonna start with you. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna run through the deck like this. You're gonna say stop. Where you tell me stop, I will stop. Anytime tonight.
Stop.
Whatever this card is, don't let me see it. All right, and don't be jealous. I want you to take one too, sir. Thank you so much. How are you? You take a card as well, and you take one as well. Fantastic. Now, guys, there's just one thing I need you to do. I need you to look at your card, memorize the card, and don't forget the card, or else it's a really long night. The color, the suit, the value, everything about it. Okay? You can put glasses on if you need them, whatever you need to do. Y'all ready? Y'all done? Oh, and you didn't have any fun yet.
No, I haven't.
So how about just say stop when you want to, sir?
I feel like the kid who wasn't picked for the basketball team.
Anytime.
Stop.
Whatever that card is, you hold on to it. Don't let me see it. All right. All done? You can stick your card on anywhere you want. In the deck. Don't get weird. You do the same, my friend. Thank you so much. And you as well. Oh, she plays hard to get. Look at that. She's sneaking it in the side. And anywhere you want to as well. Look at that. Now, I'm not going to do anything funny. I'm not going to do anything sneak. Oh, you want to do yours as well? Fantastic. Jorge, I'm going to mount the stage. As I do that, you're going to take the deck in your own hands. Give the cards a good shuffle.
All right. See?
When you're satisfied they're mixed,
we play poker here a little bit.
when you're satisfied they're mixed, you can put
Hand
them
them
back
over.
inside the box here.
I'll put them back in the box.
Absolutely, at these prices. So, fantastic. Look at that. You're no stranger to a deck of cards. All right. So we're going to start with Jeanetta. I put the cards inside my pocket. Jeanetta, serious question. How fast do you think it would? How long do you think it would take me to go inside, open the box, take out your card, find your card, and take it out and pull it out? How fast do you think that would be? Is that fast enough? What do you think about it? Is this your card?
Yes.
Of course it is. Come on. That was the amuse-bouche. All right, we're going to keep going with a little bit more excitement. Sir, you're going to think of your card. You're going to blow a romantic, suggestive, yet PG kiss at the deck of cards while you think of your card. Go ahead. Wow. Is it warm in here or is it me?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
That was
Wow.
Those Puerto Rican men, you know how
You're
they are.
right.
Very passionate, very passionate.
I'm sweating in places I didn't. Anyways, and behind, ma'am, behind him, you're thinking of a card as well? I want you to think of your card. I want you to remove an invisible gun. Don't pull out your real one. I make that mistake in Florida. Think of your card. Pull out your invisible gun and take a shot at the deck. Go ahead. Ooh, silencer. Someone's a pro. Nicely done. And I'll start with you. You stay where you are. We'll start. You know what happened when you blew that kisser? One card, and only one card, actually began to blush. Out of 52 cards, one card's blushing. What was the name of your card? Two of Hearts. Wow. Not only the Two of Hearts, but your lip prints are right on it. That's impressive. Come on, guys. That's amazing. It's really on there. If you check his purse, it's the same color lipstick, too. It's unbelievable. Ma'am, you shot that gun. One card and only one card actually began to lose a lot of blood. You'll notice that it's... Oh, wow. Bullet hole right through it. What was the name of your card, ma'am? Ace of Clubs. Oh, my word. Good shooting. You nailed it. Give it up for her, guys. Impressive. And you were thinking of a card over here?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, voice in the wilderness. I can't see anything, but I'm gonna try to find your card. It's a little bit wet here. I'm just gonna place this down. I'm gonna try to find your card by not touching the deck. And Jorge is going to have front row seat here. I'm going to try to find your card. I'm going to stand to do this. Try to find your card using my shadow. Just a shadow. That's it. I brought my own spotlight here. And Jorge, you can see that?
Yes, sir.
Very strongly?
Yes, sir.
And if we could start just by, what's the name of your card? You can say it out loud.
Ace of Hearts.
Ace of Hearts. That's the Ace of Love. And Jorge, you can see the shadow, right?
Yes, sir.
If you watch carefully.
Oh my God.
I believe that is the Ace of Hearts. Thank you. That's like magic. That's like magic. I mean, if magic were real, it would look like that, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of your card? Way back in the...
Yes, sir.
A few years ago when you chose that card, you
Yes.
still remember it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try to find your card under the cover of darkness. Now, usually I dim the lights and, things get exciting. We're not doing that today because you're shooting. So I'm going to use this paper bag, okay? And we're going to toss all the cards inside the paper bag. The deck that you shuffled, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the name of your card?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All these cards are going inside the paper bag. This is, you can see them all going in there. This is the paper bag shuffle. And I'm going to try to find his card using my super sensitive ninja powers. You didn't realize there was a ninja? I'm the world's only original Ginger Ninja. And I'm going to find your card, sir, with my razor sharp ninja sword, if all goes well. Your card,
That's it. To a space.
we got it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The Magic Highway. Stay tuned with it. If we want to know more of your where
Jorge,
will
let
you
me
go?
just interrupt you by saying it's been a privilege to be your last guest on the 5th season. And there's one thing that I do that's the hardest of anything else, and that's to do this trick without spilling any. I'd like to cheers you. You're fantastic. Jorge, ladies and gentlemen, please. Cheers, my friend. That's strong.
The amazing Bill Abbott lady at the Magic Hideaway, and it'll be sometime in May. You have a website.
Yeah, magichideaway.com.
Yes.
And if you sign up you can either sign up on the website. There's a opening page. As soon as you go there, you can type it in, or you can write it in legible printing outside the doors here. And there's a white
Yes.
table with a little list.
Yes,
so.
no Arabic or a shorthand or anything like that. It's a wonderful evening of a cocktail, a pre-magic show, then going in and catching something that's going to blow your mind. You saw some of it here. How he does it, I don't know. But that's what makes this man special, and it would be a crime not to go bag something in the community. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend.
So much.
Cheers. Thank you.
We'll be back with Ramona and Alberto Cebollero in just a few moments. Now, once again, to close the show, Ramona and Alberto Cebollero.
Thank you so much. I want to dedicate this last song to our wonderful host, Jorge Rivera, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. He does a great job with this show. This one's for you, baby.
He left no time to regret. He kept it wet with his same old same bed. And me hit my head high and my tears dry. Get on without my guy. Said you went back to what you knew. It's so far removed from all that we went through. And I tried to trouble. My eyes are style. I go back to play. We only said goodbye with words, and I died 100 times. And you go back to her, but I go back to us. I love you much. It's not enough. I love glory, you love in life. See, it's like the pipe, and I'm a tiny penny rolling up the walls inside. We only said goodbye with words, and I died 100 times. And you go back to her, but I go back. We only said goodbye with words, and I died 100 times. And you go back to her, I go back to blame. You'll never make me stay, so take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so won't you just let me be? I've been here times before, but I was too blind to see. You seduce every man, it's time you won't seduce me. She said that's okay, hey baby, do what you please. I had the stuff that you want, I am the thing that you need. She looked me deep in the eyes, she touching me so the stuff. She said there's no turning back, you'll make me a star. Dirty Diana, no. Dirty Diana, no. dee da, eh na, no no no, da dee da, eh na, let me be. We only said goodbye with words, and I died 100 times, and you go back to her. I go back. We only said goodbye with words, and I died 900 times. You go back to her. I go back. I go back to blame. I go back to I go back to black. Thank you so much. That's Jorge's ringtone, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, 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 amazing. Well, this is our last show. I want to thank you for all your support, 13 shows, all your love. We have champagne, we have cookies. I hope you stay a little while, talk a little while, say goodbye to me. Don't know when we're back, never do. But next Tuesday, I'll miss you guys.